Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're discussing legal issues prevalent in the commercial real estate industry. We have Daryl Moss with us and Sonny Morris. And Sonny, before the break, we were talking about sales contracts and some of the issues coming up. Sometimes, at least in past years and still today, we see seller reps and warranties as a negotiated item where the purchaser wants the seller to reps and warranties about the property, the leases, and that sort of thing to survive maybe for a long time or some period of time. Sellers want them to end at closing, a look at it and buy it or not, right? What are you seeing out there in reps and warranties in your practice and sales contracts?
Well, reps and warranties from a seller's point of view, they want them to be very limited. Mm-hmm. From the buyer's point of view, the things you can do due diligence on, you basically going to have to take the risk on, like the physical condition of the building and the mechanics of the building. Mm-hmm. But you do want to get reps and warranties as to the fact that the leases that the seller is showing you, those are in fact valid leases that have been executed properly, and there are no amendments other than those that have been disclosed. So those types of reps and warranties, you have to depend upon an honest seller. And if they've defrauded you, you do need some recourse. But it is hotly contested and it's limited. And generally, if you can get estoppel certificates from the tenants, that puts an end to that rep and warranty.
Right, that's a good point. And if you do get reps and warranties on those leases and it's a single asset entity that the seller has, and now that entity has nothing left, how does the buyer protect himself there?
By aggressively performing all the due diligence and getting tenant estoppel certificates.
Okay, and not really relying as much on that survival of the reps and warranties.
Well, a contract and reps and warranties are just a lawsuit. It's not a very good remedy for just good business practices.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of buyers, coming out of an REO environment became a lot savvier at doing due diligence. I mean, you had banks selling properties and, it was as is, where is, we'll tell you the price and the closing date and pretty much nothing else about it. So they became savvy at doing their due diligence, and as we're going into a, more of a seller's market now and you're getting less reps and warranties, I think buyers are sort of more experienced at doing due diligence and kind of in a better position to evaluate the properties before they go forward.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know as brokers, we advise our sellers that, and our brokers, look, let's get all the hair out. Let's get all the good, bad, and different things out, and let's get that disclosed to the purchaser, even sign off on it, even before he goes under contract. There's enough buyers in the marketplace. There's not a bad property. I say there's a bad owner, right? Yeah, every property may have some hair on it, but let's get it out there and make sure everybody's comfortable with it before we start moving down the contract road. Well, let's talk about leases for a moment, because certainly, tenants have learned a lot through the downturn, and so what are some of the concerns, Daryl, that you're seeing that tenants are having with their leases today that may be a little different than years past?
Well, we're certainly going into more of a landlord market at the moment. So tenants, things that they were able to extract out of landlords, during the downturn, they're not able to get today. Flexibility when it comes to termination, flexibility when it comes to assignment, flexibility when it comes to change of use, all those types of flexibility that, I think buyers were able to extract from landlords when they were more desperate to lease their space a few years ago. Landlords are now able to push back, and they're in a much stronger negotiating position today than they have been in the past few years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the terms that landlords and their lenders have been concerned with, Sonny, related to lease documents today. I guess landlord or lenders especially learned a lot about taking back properties, and now they've got to deal with these leases, right?
Yes, they do, and so the lender has to do their due diligence on the income of the property, because they may become the owner and they'll be relying on that income. And they obviously want a fair mix of credit in whatever portfolio they're buying, because that justifies a lower cap rate. But you gotta have credit tenants, and a lot of buyers insist on that.
And Daryl, what are you seeing in lease documents that landlords maybe are more concerned with today, or their lenders?
Just kind of following up with what Sonny was saying. When they're getting personal guarantees or corporate guarantees, really sort of doing a thorough evaluation of the creditworthiness of either the individual or the entity that's providing that guarantee. I think that's very much a hot button issue, and something landlords have become savvier about, because it's the expectation for lenders or potential future buyers as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we've seen in our transactions that the lender's a little more concerned about the estoppel letters and getting confirmation from these tenants and having a lot more details in there, so they feel more comfortable. Well, Sonny, let's talk about zoning and entitlement issues. I mean, the development is really strong in the big markets. We're starting to see a lot of development in secondary markets around, and but looks like we're on the break, so. We know what's coming up. We're going to talk about some development entitlement issues and prevalent legal issues related to development. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty Commercial Advisors, a great place to do business. Visit bullrealty.com. RealNex, a comprehensive and powerful suite of commercial real estate tools at an incredibly low price. Visit realnex.com. That's REALNEX. FIU, Florida International University. Earn your master's in real estate in as little as 10 months without interrupting your career. Visit FIUonline.com. Xceligent, the resource professionals use for commercial real estate information. Visit xceligent.com. That's XCELIGENT. Commercial Search, the source to market and source available properties for sale or lease. Visit commercialsearch.com. For more information on these great companies, or for additional videos, podcasts, or articles, visit CREshow.com.